Hi, my name's Mike Thompson, and I have been the host for a show called Radio Cosmos for the last 5 years on WKGC-FM. It's been a great ride, but the other day a funny thing happened. I was sitting here in my office thinking about what I could do for my next show when the phone rang. And I said, uh-oh, it's the Suits from upstairs. And the other shoe is finally dropped. They're going to cancel my show. Nothing like that happened. I was surprised. They came on and said, hey, Mike, we're standing up an over-the-air TV station here at Gulf Coast State College. How great is that? And we want you to take Radio Cosmos and turn it into a TV show. I said, great. How exactly do you take a radio show and turn it into a TV show? So we started talking, kicking some ideas around, a little brainstorming, little lightning bolts of neurons were firing, and we came up with, let's get regional artists to come in and play in front of a live studio audience. We can interview them, get to know them a little bit, and then they can play their original music, and boom, it'll be a great time. And then some guy with a bow tie in the back of the room stood up and go, excuse me, COVID? And you're like, yeah, we can't really bring lots of people together right now because it's just not a good idea. So I thought we were dead in the water. But our friends, our heroes up at Studio 812 in Lynn Haven came to the rescue. They said, Mike, why don't you come down? We'll bring the artists into the studio and record them playing live here in the studio. Then, when all this COVID stuff is over and done with, we can go back and start working in front of a live audience. And I said, you know what? That sounds like a TV show. So, I'd like to welcome you to Radio Cosmos Live.
Satellite online.
Transmitting from the third move from the sun. You have tuned into Radio Cosmos.
Ashley's here.
She's here? All right.
Get the talent.
Bring her in.
Nobody came to see us. Oh, hey, Ashley, come on in. Let me get you that for you.
Oh, thank you so much.
There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome to Studio 812 and Radio Cosmos.
Well, thank you all so much for having me today.
Yeah, come right on in. We're going to be in the tracking room right down there. So if you want to go to the second door, or we can go to the first door.
This way.
Well, thanks for coming in, Ashley. And the show is, we want to do local musicians, Northwest Florida people are recording music and really getting out there and doing things. But it's all about you, and I want to know about you. The good people want to know about you. So my understanding is you're a Panama City baby. You grew up right here in the Panhandle. Your dad is an accomplished musician on his own, and you do some projects with him too. Could you tell us a little about your childhood and growing up in Panama City? And all your songs seem to have that flavor mixed into them. So it'd be really cool to kind of know a little more about that.
Oh, sure. My father raised me from adolescence to adulthood. He was a single father, and he played in a very good bluegrass band back then. Actually, I should say progressive bluegrass. And part of our weekly outings was to go to different bluegrass festivals. That was our thing every weekend. My father was also a college student, so he couldn't make it to every gig, and I kind of got to learn right alongside him the flute and the penny whistle. And after some time went by, he wasn't able to make every gig, so I would often substitute for him, and then eventually I ended up in the band, The Capsized, and then later Tidewater for many years, and
yeah, I remember Tidewater.
played with my dad a lot.
I know you do kind of a Celtic thing that, with some traditional instruments with him, right?
Yes, and the way that started was my father was learning to play penny whistle himself, and I was just so curious. I would kind of just grab the penny whistle when he wasn't home, and I'd get out the book like, well, I'm going to learn how to do this, and I would just sit for hours with the cassette tapes from Homespun and play through the lessons like he would, and a lot of time was devoted to that. And we actually had a homeless songwriter live on our couch for a number of years. He was kind of a transient person, but he was an amazing songwriter, and he wrote radio plays, and he had somewhat of a lawsuit with the Allman Brothers over a song that he claimed to have written. It was a very exciting time, and he played a lot of traditional Irish music, so that was kind of what sparked it all.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know I saw something recently, on the internet where you had part of this whole, separation and isolation kind of thing we're going through. You see a lot of artists using non-traditional methods to make music, and I saw where you got together with a mandolin player from somewhere and did a piece together. What was that all about?
Well, that was thanks to the app TikTok. I actually don't know that guy. His name is Tristan Scroggins, and we've never had a conversation. We've never played physically together. It's just a feature on the app where if someone is playing a song that you know and you want to go in and play the duet with them, you just click duet, and it's just a digital renaissance, if you will.
So this wasn't planned at all ahead of
No.
time? You were just enjoying their music and said, hey, I can jump in on that.
That's exactly right.
Wow. Because,
Yeah.
it's great. I saw it on Facebook or wherever you posted it. It was great.
Thank you.
Speaking of this digital renaissance we're going through, you got a podcast now, which I've listened to a couple times. Short, sweet, to the point, and full of local information. Tell us about the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast.
Well, thank you for listening. The St. Andrews Jezebel podcast is intentionally short because I know that a lot of folks are busy and they just don't have the attention span to devote to, more than an hour. And it's mainly the purpose is to share the local culture and events and art and really anything. It could be a yard sale, anything that's happening in St. Andrews. I'd like to hear about it, and I'd like to share it so that the community is aware of what's happening in St. Andrews because it's a really wonderful place.
And where can they find that podcast?
They can find that at, they can find it on iTunes by searching the St. Andrew Jezebel podcast. It's also on Spotify. It's on iHeartRadio. It's on Amazon. Pretty much every major streaming platform. It's also on AshleyFellerMusic.com very soon. It's not there yet. And I also share...
Wow, what was that again?
That's AshleyFellerMusic.com.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Oh, no worries.
Get that plug in.
Yeah, thank you.
And I've been to your website. It's got a lot of great stuff. It's got, especially, I was having fun following. You were doing a cool tour, doing a lot of folk things, and not just little clubs but these festivals and all over the state. And I guess that's kind of right when COVID hit that kind of put a stop on that. But how did you get hooked up with that festival circuit?
Well, as far as the Florida Folk Festival goes, I was scheduled to play the Florida Folk Festival last May. It would have been the 78th annual Florida Folk Festival. It didn't happen, of course, due to COVID. But at the time that we were sent home from being on the road, I was actually on my way to Swanee Spring Reunion, which I write for a magazine. It's called Appalachian Jamwich or Jamwich now. And I've been very blessed in the last 5 years to be able to cover music festivals, concerts, different events that revolve around music. And so I can combine, my music efforts of playing in small clubs and breweries and things of that nature with my reporting for the Jamwich as well. And that trip was a combination of both. At the festival, I was going there to report the festival.
Okay, and that was over at Sound of Swanee, right?
It was at the Spirit of the Swanee
Spirit
Music
of
Park
Swanee,
in Live
that's
Oak. Yes.
Yeah, because I remember you were playing. I guess you played a gig in Live Oak or Lake City.
Yes.
Lake City. My dad grew up on a little farm. We still have the farm there outside of Live Oak. So when I saw that you were playing in Lake City, I was like, "Hey, what are you doing over there?" So that was really interesting. That's exciting stuff. In fact, you kind of got that might have been like the last gig you played. You kind of got stranded, not stranded literally, but you were on this circuit and it just got cut off because of the global pandemic.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some music. Now, I know you got an album, which I love, and
Thank
an
you.
EP also. How did that kind of come together? And really, I'm fascinated by the creative process because the way I do things is it hits me like a thunderstorm, and if I can't remember it tomorrow, I kind of consider it as being just not, well, maybe it wasn't that good an idea anyway. And then it just takes time for me to do stuff. But real songwriters sit down and write music, and I don't know how they do it. How do you approach the creative process with all these things you got going on, all these influences, and how did that kind of turn into your EP and then Rage Against That Big Old Blue Van of yours?
Well, it's definitely been an evolution of how I do things. I haven't always done things the same way. Around the time that I put out the EP, which I believe was in 2015, I was a lot more willy-nilly in my songwriting. It was kind of sort of like waiting for the universe to give me something to make a song into. And
yeah, that's the way I roll still.
And,
So.
and I still operate that way from time to time, but now I'm a little more structured because I've sought out education on how to develop that skill. The EP, which is called just simply Old Blue, that was recorded at Higher Ground Studios in Bessemer, Alabama by my friend Bud Brown, and he's a fantastic engineer and musician himself. And we did that while I was traveling the country, going to different festivals, covering events, and that was just a stop along the way.
Great.
Yeah.
And then you put out your album, The Big Blue Van of Hate. No. Rage. I never can get it right. It's Rage Against the Big Blue Van.
Rage Against the Van. Old Blue, Rage Against the
Old
Van.
Blue. I knew there was a blue in there too.
Yeah, the album title was very much inspired by my 98 Mercury Villager.
Yes.
It was a really old minivan. It didn't even have the dual doors. So load-ins and load-outs were not that convenient like they are now. You know, for the longest time I considered minivans to be the best vehicle for a musician. They're great gig cars. But this one only had one door.
And the ladies dig the minivan, by the way.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
I drove that thing for probably 14 years, and everything secondary on it was broken, but it ran like a top. It would take you across the country, no AC, no power steering, either way you turned, but you were going to get there.
That's the spirit of folk music, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. You just take what you have and
And you
go.
certainly spelled all those things out so well in the song. Well, how about we play some music? Because, the chatting is wonderful, and it's great to get to know you and the things you like to do. But I love your songs. How about we hear some?
Oh, absolutely. Let's pick, yeah.
All right.
This would be way better if it was Sprout TV. Well, until that happens, you're watching Radio Cosmos Live.
All right here on Old Radio Cosmos, we got some exciting stuff. This is a new song from Ashley, never been recorded. It's coming out on her next album. It's called Beer Town. Ashley Feller.
Well, I drank my first beer at 10 a.m. and it was mighty fine. I sipped it slow, I savored the flavor, it was uniquely one of a kind. I've always been a lover of IPAs and stouts. When I went to the fridge, I realized I sadly had run out. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing. In Beer Town, in Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town. So I went down to the brewery to have my second beer. A bearded man in a flannel shirt knew I was there. He said, what can I get you? I got selections for the fall. I thought to myself and I finally said, I think I'll try them all. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing. In Beer Town, in Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews flowing in Beer Town. I wanna live in Beer Town. On my way home from the brewery, I was feeling mighty fine, but I spent all my money down in Palestine. But for beer, it's always worth it, every single time. So go and drink your favorite beer, 'cause I'll be drinking mine. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing in Beer Town. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing in Beer Town. I wanna live in Beer Town. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing in Beer Town. In Beer Town, I wanna live in Beer Town, where the hops keep growing and the brews keep flowing in Beer Town. I wanna live in Beer Town.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we got a couple more here. This is good stuff. If you don't mind, I do love the Big Blue Van.
Yeah, we could do
If
that.
we could throw that one out there.
Well, the windshield's busting, the tires going flat, and the DMAC won't work. The power steering's shot, and I think the oil's old, but it got me where I'm at in a blue, my minivan. I've been on Ransom Lane, from North Carolina to Louisiana. It runs on hopes and dreams and just enough gasoline. It was 4,500 in 2004 when I seen it on the lot. It gleamed in the sun, ran like a champ, so it was what I bought in a blue, my minivan. I've been on Ransom Lane, from North Carolina to Louisiana. It runs on hopes and dreams and just enough gasoline. Well, the tape deck's buzzing and the windows jammed and the paint is very scratched. There's a dent in the front and a dent in the back, and the seats are full of sand in a blue, my minivan. I've been on Ransom Lane, from North Carolina to Louisiana. It runs on hopes and dreams and just enough gasoline in a blue, my minivan. I've been on Ransom Lane, from North Carolina to Louisiana. It runs on hopes and dreams and just enough gasoline. It runs on hopes and dreams and just enough gasoline.
Yes, excellent.
Thank you.
I love that track. What would you like to do now? Let's do a couple more.
Let's spice it up and go into a minor key.
Uh-oh.
This
Hey,
song-
that's an interesting capo you have. Has some special features customized.
Yeah, it's got dog bites, courtesy of Clay Musgrave's dogs, and this is a Matlaw pick.
So you're bringing the whole, see, that's what I like about you. You bring the whole musical community everywhere you go.
Yeah, got my friends with me today. This is about a pair of shoes.
Pair of shoes.
You've been lying all this time and I knew it. You thought you could keep me hanging round, but you blew it. I know all your ways, your ego gets in the way. Well, I finally found the proof, and then I found her shoes. Scandalous sandals in your house, pretty lies, escape your mouth. Scandalous sandals, cheap perfume. Now I'm singing the Who Shoes Blues. I should have trusted my first intuition. It's been 3 long weeks I've been living with suspicion. You gon' cold, my lights gon' dim. I can't believe I let you into my heart, 'cause you went and broke it. Scandalous signals in your house, pretty lies escape your mouth. Scandalous signals, cheap perfume. Now I'm singing the Who Shoes Blues. Well, I don't think you'll ever learn your lesson. You're a seasoned player and you'll always keep them guessing. You're the last and big charade. You gotta keep up your masquerade. I finally found the proof when I found her shoes. Scandalous sandals in your house, pretty lies escape your mouth. Scandalous sandals, cheap perfume. Now I'm singing the Who Shoes Blues. Now I'm singing the Who Shoes Blues. You want 'em? That's what he said.
Very nice, very nice. And some fine picking you got going on there, too.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, we like that a lot. So, Ashley, if you don't mind, I want to jump in and play a song with you here. I love the track heard you play it a couple times, and the St. Andrews Jezebel. So, where did that song come from?
Oh my goodness. I was sitting in a dive bar in the middle of the night and I was trying to meet a tattoo artist. Not something I recommend.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I'm trying to
Honey, tonight I think I'm going to go out and try to find me a tattoo artist.
Yeah, I was trying to meet this tattoo artist, and while I was waiting for said tattoo artist to show up, I meet this young lady, and she made a really big impression on me, and I think that's all I could really say at this moment. But I never forgot her. She had a red bandana on, and then finally the tattoo artist did show up, and they were just enthralled with each other that we didn't ever get to talk about tattoos. And the last
Love was in the air. That's beautiful.
The last I ever saw her, she was on the back of his Harley, and they disappeared into the morning light.
That's what I'm talking about. That's where every song should come from, I think. Well, I thought what we'd do is, I'll just play a little bass line bouncing along underneath you, and then do a couple of the harmonies on the chorus, that second half of the chorus. And then maybe on the little, it's not a bridge, but the little turnaround part with the high piece. And I thought what I would do, if it's cool with you, is you remember the old Muppet Show, like the original Muppet Show? They had the jug band.
Yes.
And then they had the girl guitar player on there would sing the harmonies, and she would always kind of sing them like that, And I thought I'd put a little bit of that in there, if that's cool with you. Because,
yes.
And kind of get that vibe and have a little fun with it.
That's the perfect spirit of it, because when we were recording the album with Dave Schwartz at Boundless Sounds, is we had this practice we'd call the Muppet test, and whenever we were listening back to our mixes, we would imagine the Muppets singing the songs, and if it was a good impression in our brains of the Muppets singing it, then it was a go. So
there you go.
That is the perfect spirit to have about this song.
Excellent. Well, let's do it. This is Miss Ashley Feller doing St. Andrews Jezebel.
Thank you.
Well, she's got long legs and short shorts, but she ain't got no teeth. She wears a red bandana on her hair and she smiles so sweet. She'll steal your heart at very first sight, but she'll rip apart your soul. She'll torture your mind and waste your time and drag you down the road, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel. Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamps, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel. She keeps her cigarette behind her ear, she's got whiskey on her breath, she's got 10 gold rings on her hand, she's trying to find a man. She'll sing against the wind and then turn the page. She's got smile lines and grace, she's trying to hide her age, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel. Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamps, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel. She can throw a dart, she can pull and hang with all the guys. She drinks PBR from a can and she's got bloodshot eyes. She's got the charm, but don't be fooled, she's out to break your heart. She's an empty shell with a devious plan and she knows just where to start, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel. Red lipstick, so thick, and a push-up bra. Tramp stamps, stretch marks, and a lacy thong, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel, 'cause she's a Jezebel, St. Andrew Jezebel.
Very nice, very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you
That's
for
fun.
letting me do that. That was great.
That was so fun.
I've been to St. Andrews. I think I've met that girl.
I've heard many say the same.
Hey, you got a track here? We have a little notepad full of things to talk about over here. And you have one here, the sound, at least sounds, I'm not familiar with this track, but something a little more personal and a little more warm and fuzzy than some of your songs seem to be. This is You're the One for Me. Tell us a little bit about that song and let it happen.
This is one of those songs that was, you sort of wait for the universe to give you something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was playing around with jug band progressions, and this is what happened. All right. I wish you had a kazoo. There's a great kazoo part.
You got eyes of baby blue, I knew the minute I met you that you're the one for me. You got teeth so pearly black, when I see your face I take flight, 'cause you're the one for me. Please don't try to change me, take me as I am. Mom tried to love you just as long as I can. Well, you can dance and you can sing, you can really shake that thing, 'cause you're the one for me. When you squeeze me good and tight, oh, it feels oh so right, 'cause you're the one for me. Please don't try to change me, take me as I am. Mama tried to love you just as long as I can. Well, I can cook and you can sew, I'll make every dish I know. If you'll stay with me, I'll brew your coffee every day. If you'll only look my way, won't you take a little chance on me? Please don't try to change me, take me as I am. Mama tried to love you just as long as I can. dear, will you be mine for other days, for other times? 'Cause you're the one for me. 'Cause you're the one for me. 'Cause you're the one for me.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's wonderful. I tell you, I love the sense of humor that you have in all your music. It's so you too. If you were lucky enough to get to know Ashley a little better, you exude that. You have so much personality. You're such a warm, fun person. So it's so good to hear those songs.
Thanks.
And there's one song we've played it on the radio show a bunch of times, and I get all kinds of requests for it. Everybody loves it. She already knows what it is because she starts capoing. And we shared a stage at the Songwriters Festival this year, which was thrilling. I was so happy when I saw your name come up. I was like, yes. And you did it there. It's a fan favorite. So before we go, Ashley Feller with Downtown.
Well, I got a man who's good with his hands. He tries to please me every day. He's got real good looks and he sure can cook, and he's sweet in every way. He'll take me here and he'll take me there, from Boston to Puget Sound. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. Downtown, he just won't go downtown. It's a mighty fine place downtown. Have dinner at the Y downtown, or some cherry pie. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. He'll take me to London and he'll take me to France, Honolulu and Waikiki, St. Louis and St. Paul, the list goes on. But my sweet man will take me. There's just one place he never will go. He'll never come around. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. Downtown, he just won't go downtown. It's a mighty fine place downtown. Have dinner at the Y downtown, or some cherry pie. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. I've been to Sicily twice, and though it was nice, there's really nothing new. It all seems the same in Notre Dame and Venice and St. Andrew. I wish she'd see my point of view, that'll never come around. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. Downtown, he just won't go downtown. It's a mighty fine place downtown. Have dinner at the Y downtown, or some cherry pie. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown. He takes me all around the world, but he just won't go downtown.
Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Ashley.
you.
We had a wonderful time listening to your music. It's wonderful. Where can people find you? I know we touched on this before. Give us all your credentials, your Facebooks, your web pages, all that good stuff.
Oh, okay. You can find me at ashleyfellermusic.com. I'm also under Instagram as Ashley Feller Music, TikTok, Ashley Feller Music, Facebook. It's facebook.com/homegrown tunes. Tunes.
And you're on Spotify and all that other good stuff?
Yes, on Spotify, Amazon, YouTube, not Pandora. Everybody but Pandora.
Pandora's tough.
Yeah, they didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't get in there either. They don't know what they're doing over there. They don't know what they're missing, that's for sure.
Right.
All right, and the St. Andrews Jezebel podcast is every week, right?
Yes, I try to put out episodes between Tuesday and Wednesday of every week, and that covers the upcoming weekend of local culture and music events and any other events that might be happening in St. Andrews.
Yeah, gotta have it. It's good stuff. It really is.
And local history.
Ashley Feller, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Mike. Thank you.
I tune because you care.